the last 24 hours have been really, really fucking awful. My PTSD has, wow, gone to a whole new level. And so I thought I'd record this just to show you what it can be like for people who struggle with PTSD. And it's so hard to explain, and even things happen to us that we don't even understand or know how it's happened or why it's happened. But it's just really, really awful. And I was in crisis last night and I had to phone my brother. I was just freaking out because I'd never experienced this new thing that I currently have now as a result of my PTSD. Fun times. I know I'm being sarcastic, but yeah. So yesterday my PTSD was triggered because somebody was very aggressive with me, and that made me flash back to the situation that had given me PTSD in the first place, because it was a very similar circumstance. I knew I'd been triggered, but I couldn't let it overtake me and let myself feel their emotions, because I was at work and I was doing an exam. I was an invigilator, and so I had to keep, I had to just do the exam because the students were relying on me. And so I did the exam, and I had to disassociate and just push it all down while I was doing the exam with the students, and while I was traveling home. And then when I got home, I was like, okay, now I need to stop dissociating. I need to feel my emotions, because, there is sort of one of the main things about trauma is if you don't feel your emotions, it gets worse. And so I was like, okay, you got to feel now. And then I was really struggling to get it out, and I was getting a little bit distressed about it. And then I went to make myself a cup of tea, and I saw that my tablets needing to be changed, and so I was opening up my tablet containers, and the sound of the tablet containers when I was moving them and opening them was so overwhelming. It was like my entire body just vibrated. It's like vibrated. I don't quite know what the word is. It's like it went through every cell in my being. It was just like I felt that noise everywhere, and it was just a horrible, grating feeling. It was just so horrible and so excruciatingly painful. And then I started to hear lots of other noises, like vehicles going by, and the kettle, and the sound of the refrigerator, and just everything became so much, just so overwhelming. And it was just, I wanted to almost like scratch my ears out. It was just so painful. It was like physically painful. I can't even describe it. Never experienced it with my PTSD. I've never had this kind of thing happen to me. And even now I'm literally like, oh God, I'm so worked up about it. And I had to put earplugs in. I phoned my brother, and I was like, I'm in crisis, I need your help. And so he phoned me straight away, and he spent an hour and a half on the phone with me, just calming me down. and I was just an absolute ball of wailing and crying, and just a total emotional wreck, and the sounds were just getting louder, and I was just crying and saying, well, I just wanted to stop. And it was just so overwhelming. And because my brother's experienced sensory overload before because of his autism, he was actually able to talk me through it and calm me down enough that my emotions weren't so overwhelming, and that I was more aware of like why it was happening. He explained it to me, and he reassured me that, you know, it was like I wasn't going crazy, and that, you know, it was a normal thing when, you know, you're overwhelmed, and that you know, he would be there, he would stay with me the whole time on the phone as long as I needed him to stay, even if it was all night, and that if I did get off the phone with him, if I decided I didn't want to talk anymore, that, you know, if any other time I needed to phone him again, then I could just phone him and talk. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have someone there for you in these kinds of situations, like to have somebody that you can rely on so much when you've just really, like, you're just in so much agony. I had to call in sick today for work because the auditory issues have not gone away. You know, I'm standing here now with my earphones on, and you can see that I've got my earplugs in. So I've got my earplugs in, I've got my earphones on, but I can still hear the cars outside. I can still hear the TV humming, as if like I was hearing normally, but I've got all this stuff protecting my ears so that I can just hear things normally. And I don't know when this is going to go away. My doctor said there was nothing they could do for me other than give me time off work until hopefully it subsides, and I have no idea when it's going to go away, or if it's going to go away. I don't even know if I'm going to have to live with this from now on, or whether it's going to disappear. And, you know, things were going so well for me with regards to my recovery, and now this happens, and it just feels like I'm back to where I was at the start. And it's just so hard. So I just want to say to you that this is what it's like, PTSD. Like, these are the kinds of things that go on for us. For anybody out there who has PTSD, I know how awful it is, and I really hope that you've got people in your life that can support you the way that I have people in my life who've been able to support me. And I just, yeah, I don't know what to say really. I hope it gets better, but it's really hard. So I'm sorry, I look like a mess, but I thought I'd just show the reality of what it's like for those who suffer with mental health. And so to anyone who thinks that mental health is not a real thing, or that we are faking it, or anything like that, I hope you watch this and you've realized that this is a really awful thing to live with, and that you will show more compassion towards people who are struggling with their mental health. And I just want everybody to know that kindness matters. I don't know what I would have done if my brother hadn't been there for me. So thank you.
Thank you for listening. Please follow us on social media, visit our website, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We hope you will join us for the next episode of Recovering My Balance.